I want everyone to lie on their backs and try and keep as still as they can. Bored yet? You've only been lying on your back staring at the ceiling for 15 seconds. Try 15 plus days. For spinal injury patients, this is a reality for potentially up to a couple of months. Today I will be talking to you about a charity that helps get spinal injury patients out of the ward and into a garden, so they don't have to stare at a hospital ceiling hours on end, hearing the busy rush of a hospital. It gives patients the opportunity to see themselves in a community, and this helps them prepare for when they leave the spinal unit. Being outside in a beautiful garden changed everything for me during my long stay in hospital after I was paralysed. The first time I went into the garden, I was overwhelmed with tears and a sense of relief and excitement that there was somewhere to go other than the ward. I'm Rosie Clark, and today I will be talking to you about the charity Horatios Garden and why it does what it does. Horatios Garden is a national charity creating and nurturing beautiful gardens in NHS spinal injury centres to support everyone affected by a spinal injury. The charity is named after Horatio Chappell, a volunteer who had the original idea of creating a garden away from the wards for patients and their families. Tragically, Horatio was killed at the age of 17 while on a science trip with the British Exploring Society. He was killed when a polar bear attacked his camp. Leading landscaper designers create these stunning gardens that can be used all year round. These gardens become an integral part of people's lives throughout their time in hospital. Spinal cord injuries are life-changing, and when they are in hospital they often have no access to the outside world, and research shows that being in contact with the natural environment contributes to an improved sense of well-being, which can have a positive impact on patient rehabilitation. I will now show you a video on Horatios Garden and why it matters.
I'm a paragliding pilot, and unfortunately I had an accident. And it's not a matter of being in for a few days and then being discharged. It's the mental battle of knowing that you're going to be here for 5-6 months.
I had an abscess on my spine that needed 2 operations that left me paralysed. I have been in this hospital for 9 months. When you're on bed rest, you're on bed rest and you can't even get out of bed, let alone go outside. So yeah, it's been very, very difficult.
I was playing rugby for a local ladies rugby team and I got tackled. Initially, I was paralysed on my right side. I couldn't move my arm, my right leg, nothing. And when they said, you might never walk again, that was quite traumatic because with 2 little ones and obviously a house and everything to run at home, in seconds, my life changed. I was on 6 weeks bed rest, first of all, so 6 weeks flat on my back, not being able to turn, not being able to move. That was the most frustrating thing, and not being able to go outside.
I had a car accident, so I now use a wheelchair permanently. You're lying in that bed, staring out of a window with nothing to look at. I used to count the tiles on the ceiling because that was the highlight of my day. Now that Horatios Garden's here, it's bright, it's colourful. I think to get out of the ward, that busy, kind of noisy environment, and come into the garden and have that little private time, I think it makes a huge difference. It's just a nice, happy place to be. It doesn't look like a ward, a beige, boring ward.
The first time I went to the garden, I was completely emotionally overwhelmed, just having some wind in my face. Simple as that, really. The sunlight and the natural elements which are out there, which I've just completely missed all that time. Something I won't forget.
People come out for cups of tea. Relatives talk with other relatives, which then become a little support team from themselves. And it's just a really nice, warm place to be, and everyone seems to get something from it. It's kind of like the hub of the spinal unit now.
I think Horatios Garden will change lives. To spend time with your friends and your family outside, you can't put a price on it, and I can't emphasise enough how important a garden is.
We all need a happy place to go to, not just in our mind, but in the physical. It would give lots of joy to lots of people for a very, very long time.
Gardening can be offered in the acute phase of injury disease, when patients cannot use a wheelchair, in which case their beds could be wheeled around in a safe environment of an adjoining garden. This trip may be the first contact with the outside world after days or weeks of acute treatment. At a later stage in their treatment journey, patients would go into the garden in their wheelchairs. In the last decade, there has been a surge in interest in the garden activities for treatment purposes. Today, garden therapy is employed to help patients with a wide range of physical and cognitive impairments, spinal cord and brain injury patients, the elderly, cancer patients, people with neurological impairments, Alzheimer's and dementia patients, alcohol recovery clients, disabled children, and many other patient groups. This is only a small bit about Horatios Garden. There is so much more than just what I've spoken about today. To find out more, go to horatiosgarden.co.uk. Thank you.